What's up, everybody? This is Kareese Foster. I'm just getting on here to share a little bit of my story. I'm sure a lot of people been in tune or heard about the conversations that have been going on regarding our school district at Pottstown, recognizing that this is actually a national problem, not just a Pottstown problem, but Pottstown is our community. I didn't get on here to point fingers at teachers or the school system or parents or even the students. I'm not about that. I'm a man of solutions. After I graduated from Pottstown High School, I ended up in prison. And it was in prison where God has showed me what my purpose was and what he assigned me to do. I believe God created everybody to solve a problem. My problem was specifically men. What I understood when I was in prison is that the recidivism of men going in and out of jail, specifically black men, was very high, especially those without a father. And that bothered me so much because the first time I was ever incarcerated, I remember a guy that didn't even know me. He came I don't know where he was, but he walked back into the pod. I don't know if he was at medical, but he said, "Are you Kareese?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Man, I just heard the warden and them talking about you and down there in a room down the hall." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Your dad, Eddie Warren?" I said, "Yes, my dad is Eddie Warren." He said, "Yeah, they mentioned Eddie Warren." It was like, "Yes, Eddie Warren's son." And that carried on with me, that conversation that guy had with me for a long time, because it just kind of revealed that, this was a generational thing. My dad spent majority of his life behind bars, and here I come right behind him, ready to carry on the same pattern. But glory to God, years later, after striving not to be like him, I ended up going to prison for 3 years. And it was in that prison sentence that God revealed his purpose to me, which was specifically men. And I knew that coming home, I couldn't be the same person that I was when I came in. So when I came home, I decided that I was going to walk with God and answer the call that he had put on my life, because not only, I seen peers of mine that were stuck in the same trap and didn't know how to get out of it. But the thing that I had on me that made me more fortunate than the average person or black male coming home from prison was that I learned a trade. I learned how to use my hands early on. So I had more options when I came home. Although I worked at Jake's Wayback Burgers, I had a business plan I had put together when I was away, and I was working that business plan as soon as I came home. So I was going to move to Florida, but God told me, "I didn't give you a testimony for people not to see." And I remember I called my girlfriend, who is my wife now, and I said, "Look, I'm not going to be able to move to Florida because God told me he didn't give me a testimony for people not to see. Plus, I had a son here that needed me to be present because I didn't want him to repeat the same patterns that me and his grandfather had already went through." So in that obedience, God elevated me in every area of my life. He elevated me in my finances. He elevated me in my business. He elevated me in ministry. He elevated me in my family. Everything was on the up and up. And then I got to a point where it was like, okay, God, they seen the testimony. Now what? And God said very clear, "Now give back." In that moment, he gave me the word MADE in the acronym, making a difference economically. And I knew what that meant. What that meant was all the resources that I had to pay for to get to where I was at, to learn the things that I needed to learn. I was now charged of bringing those same people in to teach our community some of these skills, some of these tricks of business and tricks of the trade, ways to get finances, all these different avenues and people that I met on my journey, brought back to our community to try to teach not just our youth, but our adults that are still stuck in the same trap. And on top of that, MADE was a trades program where we're teaching youth and adults how to build, how to do plumbing, how to do electric. And we're working toward having a full-blown school at, a discounted rate. Of course, we have been running MADE since 2019, and up until this point, it's been free. But, now we can't carry that load no more free. We have to charge, but still will be astronomically lower than it would be if you entered into any type of trade school or any type of situation like that. So, I'm sharing that because I need parents to understand that I've been where your child has been. I need parents to understand that I've made some of the mistakes that your child has made or might make. And the reason I created Made through the grace of God was so I can stop as many kids from making the same mistakes that I've made. What frustrates me, to be honest, is, I know trade saved my life through the grace of God. I know that 100%. And I know what I'm giving back to the community is genuine and it comes from a pure place. And I need you parents to understand what I'm saying right now and really understand that I can relate to these situations and start directing your kids to our program. Because with the same tenacity that we're directing our kids to go play basketball or go do other things, not saying that these things can't get us out of our situation, but the statistics show that it's not an everybody thing. Right now, the trades industry is a very open industry, especially for colored people. So I just wanted to share a little bit of my story, a little bit of my testimony, more important to get parents more involved, to get them more engaged. And I thought that if they understand a little bit more about me, a lot of people already know me, but I realized a lot of people don't. So I needed to show my face a little more and give you an understanding about what Made is and what we are about. Hope to see y'all soon.